Hello and welcome back to HoI4 with our Democratic Germany campaign. We are on the premises of war with Poland because I think overwhelming support is there for supporting the Polish Republic. Now talks have started and the idea is fairly simple. The territory owned by people, the territory that they own, which is basically the population living there is of other nationalities. These nationalities will be released. That includes actually Danzig, because that is basically where it's like the destroyers for bases things. Yes, we're helping you with military support and everything, but we're not doing it for free. That's kind of the idea. In the meantime, I'm going to actually work a little bit on some other nations as well. Mostly just want to start boosting some, let's see if I can boost some popularity of other points here, and I shouldn't even bother. Their daily communism support is insane. So there might be a little bit of a war going on at that point at some... yeah, these guys are heavy communists, and we'll need to fix that problem. So after that's done, Poland, Italy, and then it's the US. Flipping the US back to a democracy will immediately fix the problem of a lot of the nations in South America, which are currently influenced by the US. So hopefully when that happens, we can solve that issue and hopefully take care of the problem. So we are now currently within the EDF, or the Polish are now within the EDF. So we'll now offer to join their little civil war and hopefully provide the support that they require to get this thing done. Right, Black Army, you can stop training. Your orders are no longer necessary in the current state and form as they are in. March yourselves towards the front line. Now, this might be a little bit excessive, but we'll just do it like that. Let's take a look at the... there we go. Now let's take a look at the Black Army. Now I want to keep an eye on the Italians. They might see this as an opportunity to also join in the Mid-Zemurnia. There we go. So it's soon time to stop training some of this shit. Alright, so you're flying now, sadly enough, not along the right point. Is there any airfields nearby that actually could support such a large group? Well, Leningrad might be able to. We can fly over Central Russia? Barely. Alright, we gotta do this differently. There we go. That's a lot better. Right, everything is moving into place. My inventory here, however, is probably have to take its time. It's not the ideal point. Besides, okay, so a lot of nations are being called in. All right, what we're gonna do here is set our Marines to take this side here. France wants to join in. Damn Imperial France. There you go. And Ireland, I think probably most people will try to join in. Sweden became an ally. Yep. Poland is calling in the entire EDF. Please help us protect the democracy that we've been fighting for so long. And of course the EDF is responding because it's a defensive war and not an offensive war. We'll accept your non-aggression pact. There are, however, American troops in... You're going fascist, aren't you? We might have a slightly larger war coming on soon. However, luckily the fascists have no faction that they can immediately... Well, if it gets wiped out, it might not be as much of a problem. This thing might lead to a war with Italy and... Perhaps, but I doubt it, the US. So let's take Mexico is now... Okay, so neutral Mexico prevailed and that creep is still in power. Alright, let's start getting a move on. basically take the territory that we have an option of taking. Looks like the Poles are on the defense. And let's hopefully we get this shit under control soon. There seems to be mostly empty territory anyway, so I don't think we should worry overly too much. You can be of a slightly less protective state. You guys are nearly done training. Right, there we go. Okay. I didn't really want to work with my mechanized this early, but you know, sometimes you just have to. Alright, let's see. That will be bypassed most likely, and then we'll see if we can befriend all of these nations so that we can get yeah, get some nah, okay. Good. Don't really know what to eat up here. Mammal, Danzig, and that kind of stuff. That should be necessary for us to do a lot of this stuff. Alright. Now it seems that the Polish Civil War is actually not entirely supported by... Wait, Poland joined out, but they are the faction member. However, they are not supported by their own faction, surprisingly enough. Let's get Warsaw back under the rightful Polish government. Let's get a free artillery upgrade. We've got some free dockyards, which means that we can start investing some of our other fleet elements. For example, I want a couple more submarine divisions, so I can operate in more waters. But I think these 10-stack wolf packs are actually fairly useful. There we go. Alright, there's our semi-modern artillery upgrade, and 8 days for even more modern artillery upgrade. Alright, so Poland, how are you doing? You probably should surrender soon enough. Ah, yes, they're already done for. Perhaps I need to drive a tank into one more spot. There we go, Poland capitulated. And it went to, of course, Romania, because that makes a lot of sense. Because Romania is at war with Poland? You guys declared a separate war in Poland? Soviet-Polish War. This thing ended years ago. Huh? Alright, the Polish Republic took everything. So the Soviet-Polish War still exists? That's weird. So that didn't fully peace deal out, so... Okay, that is a bit strange. Because that war should be over. Both factions that declared this war are no longer in it, so I need to kind of take a look at this. Alright, let me... do a little bit of googling, and when we're back, I'll have that little snafu fixed. And we're back. So, fun times happened. The moment I fixed everything, take a guess what happened. Poland immediately declared war on the Lithuanian SSR. However, this leads to a possibility of dismantling the final bits and bobs, which are the Comintern, which literally currently is Social Republic of Bulgaria, the SSR here, and the Democratic Republic of Afghanistan, which currently is a full-blown Russian thing. So we're gonna jump in this one because I don't really see another option in the current landscape of war. Most other nations have their own leanings, but seem to be mostly democratic. However, I hope that they will stay that way. So we're gonna ensure that this doesn't go the communist way. We're gonna boost a little bit of party popularity here. These guys are still in the Comintern. These guys are still in our midsminiernime. But yeah, the world is definitely not okay yet. You guys can go down here with the Republic of Afghanistan. So most people will not join in automatically on this one, but I hopefully are capable of, you know, doing that. Alright, there's a semi-modern artillery upgrade. That's ahead of time. That's already here. We don't need that. Let's take a look at artillery. 500 days. Seems a bit excessive if you ask me. Oh, we don't need armored cars, so let's not bother doing anything without them. We're not at 47, so we can get 38 ships. It's not really that I've got something to do in the meantime anyway, so yeah. We're in a bit of a weird space. We are a bit of a weird space. The coloring here, by the way, why they're all grey, I think that has to do with the fact that they were my puppets. I released these as puppets initially. I don't will release them later on. They kind of want to ensure that they for now stick with a more favorable government towards me. So yeah, that's why. So who joined the Polish so far? Nobody, I think. Oh, everybody did. I'm just the only one not in it. Sure, I'll accept. Surprisingly enough, that's actually fairly rare. Right, so anything I can do for now except for investing in my puppets. I did actually know I had Afghanistan or Iran in here as well. Well, let's just modernize these places. Ensure that they are modern, well-built nations. Now, I'm not gonna make use of their break-free thing. This is just literally me wanting to invest in these lands. I think that's all except for the Caribbean islands here. I wish there was an option to give lands freedom without the need of having enough autonomy, but I think that's still living in the old way of thinking. Like, I would love to give this to Canada, but I can't. I wish there was more freedom in how that is controlled. Anyway, let's get this show on the road. Alright, we'll just quickly capitulate this, and I will probably puppet it. Hopefully can we create new states because of that. Yes, these are my little republics. The Republic of Iran needs to join in as well. Exploit that. Reassert Eastern claims is here, so now we can actually get Danzig back from Poland, which is the final thing. Now we need to bypass this, so I need to get Danzig, and then we can start influencing some other places. Stubborn fool. Memel Lithuania refuses demand. Well, there goes a rogue roll against Memel. And for now, it's more anti-tank research for free. Or heavy tank model if I wanted to, but that seems fairly redundant. Right, let's take out Afghanistan real quick. Of course they rejected my demands. Some of this land goes to the Russian Federation. Seems the Russians actually have claims on this, so they capitulated towards me. Good. That solves that. Now we just... Yugoslavia is in the EDF. However, they still have fairly fascist leanings. They are still considered neutral. Why are you so fascist? Ah. That explains. You actually probably have nothing that leads towards democracy then. Even though you took a Western focus. Let's boost some party popularity, get some democracy in the... Right, thanks. Bulgaria is your next target. Go Rommel, make work of it, thank you very much. So we are now just taking out the final remnants of what is called the Comintern. Alright. We have our own Afghan war here. Fun times. Now there's something weird going on. The Soviet Union still exists, but they are not the old Soviet Union. They have a generic focus tree now, which can go every single way. There we go. Alright. Let's fix this shit. We're gonna take all states, and that will probably leave us with a little bit of world tension. No, I can't do that actually. Pass Cominterns. Yes, give everything to me. Chasing government. I'm hoping with doing this I can actually return some of the territory. So I might need to do a little bit over and everything, because probably like returning territory to Denmark. Which territory do they hold? Schleswig-Holstein. Ah, that's mine. But how do I get that all of a sudden? The Danes must have somehow gotten claims on it. I do consider Hamburg and Kiel German, so no thank you. They will list as puppets. Bulgaria as well as Afghanistan. Now hopefully that gives them a new focus tree. No, but there was a hope one day that it might happen. So they'll probably go back to their old damn ways. See, that's a problem with the focus tree. That it inherently makes them problematic. So nations that have an inherent leaning towards certain ways will stay with that forever. So that's, well, a good reason to keep them puppeted, so they can actually not break free and they're put under my government anyway. Right, next up is Italy, which still needs to be taken care of. Our fleet should be operating in the area. Yes, it is. With a wrong number of ships. Alright. Production. So I needed 15 more destroyers. What else do we need? 1 light cruiser, 3 heavy cruisers. Alright. 1 light, 3 heavies. 1 heavy. So we just add that there. Alright, so you're gonna go to the Kriegsmarine. You're gonna go to the Kriegsmarine. We actually apparently have a small fleet sitting here. That's our sub. So these should be able to be submarines, I guess? Submarine. Yes, they are all submarines. Okay. That works for me. Alright. Yeah, let's get everybody into place and make ready for the Italian invasions. Let's set this all up. So you went fascist. Okay, so you have communist leanings. Hopefully we can get some democratic influence on there fast enough till they will flip back before they will permanently lock themselves in. But hey, what you gonna do about it? Not much, I tell you. Not much. Anyway, how long do we get for the war against Italy? We've got some time. It's gonna wait till everything is in place. I don't know if I can do even a naval invasion. I don't know if France wants to join in. Italy will place under permanent puppetry. Same might be done with the US, since they went for fascist leaning, and I cannot break this in all likeliness. So yeah, great time and everything. What do we get complete? Ah, right, new infantry weapons. It's gonna tighten our trade deals with France a little bit more. Might as well. Alright. I think everything is in place. Even though I lack quite a large number of mechanized. There's no way I can fix that. I don't need as much of you anymore. I don't need that much of you. This gives me 15 more mechanized. Or 14. Lessen the tungsten trade, increase the steel trade, there we go. With that said, I think it's wartime. I might have not given the right reasons to do so, but Italy, you are done. I'm over. You flip-flop too much. It's time for you to go home and die. The United Kingdom wants to join the EDF. Thank you very much. You are welcome. Russia wants to join the war. France to join the war. No, this is just German intervention. I don't see a necessity for any other nations to join in this war. That's fine. You guys can kind of sit on the back of everything. Alright. I want to make this quick and easy. And get this over with. Yes, the entire faction surprisingly wants to join. I've seen them far more hesitant normally. But, well, I don't mind having that as results. Seems our mountaineers are actually struggling to keep up. My tanks have reached that magical point where they are just brutal. Italy are part of the European Confederation. Well, got some more fascism put in place, so I guess you guys have some orders left. Well, it does allow me to take care of Romania, so yay, I guess. A yay has been put in place. Yeah, the world is... I don't think it's possible unless you conquer everything to make a fully democratic world. It's the downside of the focus tree. Alright. Okay, so let's be smart here. I can control this. Still need to do the Polish thing. Don't really need that. Definitely don't need that. Alright. Yeah, it's a bit wonky here and there, but well, that's Italy. Let's take all their states. I can't apparently. There we go, and turn done. Then manage the subjects, or manage this, and we'll return territory first. And then we'll release them as a puppet. There you go. We're in a weird position. That means that the war with the legionnaires of Bulgaria has ended as well. I think our next target would be the US. And but we can never counteract their desire to... So most likely we can... I think the thing, if we want to permanently get rid of the bonus, what we need to do is instigate a civil war that spawns a new faction that will start from the scratch. So I think that is what we're going to do. You still have the heavily fascist communist leanings. So what we're gonna do... okay, we need to coup those who aren't democratic yet. So let's see if we can get a democratic coup in Ukraine. You guys can go home for now, and in the meantime we'll make preparations for, well, basically war with the US. And I gotta put this fairly simple. There is only one front you need to break when you fight the US, and that is basically this part. So yeah, let's focus on that. In the meantime, it's time that I get my territory back for some of these. So we'll switch to Poland. And... they actually apparently don't consider this... Okay, so I do need the Polish war thing. Okay. Can I get the memo back? Because I actually control this guy. Nope, okay. Right, so yeah, the Poland war thing is a go. If I can find it. Danzig war. There we go. It was bypassed. Okay. Because I'm in a... Okay, so we literally can't get Danzig then. Let's start befriending some of these nations. Get a large democratic going there. Alright, let's take a look at some of this stuff. Yeah, we're mostly counteracting here the desire from the US influence, so that is something we need to continue doing. Let's see what else we're doing. The Republic of Belarus. Right, because you are so far having hefty communist influence. No, you don't. Not yet. We need to keep you going on the right path, so that should be... You're not growing communism, no, you're shrinking and you're gaining that, that's good, so we need to keep that going. Now we have Ukraine Socialist Republic, that's what we're doing there, and Yugoslavia, which we want to flip towards. You're losing points. You might be in a equilibrium perfectly, so that's fine. It's fine, at least they're not going communist or fascist, so I can work with that. $700 modern tanks. Well, that has slowed down quite a lot, I gotta confess. We do not need as many planes as we do now. A couple of carriers we'll have, that's actually not as important. So yeah, instigating civil wars around the world is gonna be the way probably to get rid of a lot of this stuff. So we need to keep an eye on that. Like, UK is probably going back towards fascism. They've got the fascist support there. But they've got a lot of democratic support. Okay, we actually can't stage a coup for fascism to just break them out, but... We might be able to stage a coup, a democratic coup. Here, let's see what happens. So we're gonna lose some large amount of political power, but try to do this as least as possible with console commands and that kind of stuff. So you guys you're a puppet of India. Well, at least you're of the right faction. So let's get this destroyer up and running, get the 7 moderate and light cruiser up and running. Next up is the Albrecht class und the Seidler. Seidler? Yeah, Seidler, I think it is. Alright, we're still fairly reliant on French trade. Yeah, the coloring of the color mod is a little bit weird, and I don't think I'm gonna play with that anymore in the future, because it just creates these big patches of gray. However, it makes it a lot easier to see what is directly under my control. So it's like a mixed bag. I'll let you guys decide on. Do you like seeing the gray elite right now because it's under my control, or do you say, oh, well, we prefer to see green. We know it's yours. Well, we all know it's mine, but you know. Let's see. Something specifically that I want? No, but I want the better radars. Let's upgrade those that we have. If we have insane coverage with them. Well, let's hope that this works the same as IRL. Coverage, if you've got multiple radar stations that can... So, radar is a funny thing, right? It is basically a wave that gets reflected back. And holy shit, the Dutch have a lot of forces. Anyway, gets reflected back and you realize where things stand, right? Things stand, that's where an object is, but it's not as precise. So having doesn't it work the same if you got multiple radar stations? It's easier to actually triangulate because you got multiple points of distance that you can determine more precisely where stuff is. I don't know, it makes sense in my brain, but it might be that radar is already precise enough to actually do that, so who knows? I certain as hell don't. Yeah, well, let's start up. I guess we're gonna go a little bit early in industry and let's start outputting a lot of stuff. Befriending Romania, let's push some nice and lovely democracy in those regions. Turkey, you're not going anywhere really. You got some communists support, but you have daily democratic support in there as well. So we might flip you towards a democracy in that due to our influence there. Well, let's get excavation. Alright, I need to basically... Okay, after the Turkish thing, I probably should stop with any focuses. Otherwise we'll run out of steam on that front. So we're gonna start a civil war in America, which is gonna be fairly difficult because there's a large democratic... there's no democracy living there. So doing that is gonna be highly difficult. However, the Ukrainian one should be easier, which will finish in 48. So it's gonna be a little bit of time of rest, peace, rebuilding of divisions. You guys can train, you guys are good, you guys need a little bit of training. You guys also need a little bit of training. Romania, I don't expect a war anytime soon there. However, probably need to enter from Poland into the Ukrainian war, so... There we go. Alright. Belarus, you're still doing good? If you're making okay, so they haven't made their choice yet. So that's kind of what I need to keep an eye on, otherwise I need to start interventing with some civil wars here and there. Okay, I'm gonna shrink this a little bit and then put 2 points in here. Slightly more efficient at trading. Alright, we already are maxing things out. We are building ships fast. Jesus. You can go to the tippy top. Might as well start thinking about a secondary fleet to support the Kriegsmarine. You no longer have to sail around Italy though. You guys can come home. Port up. There we go. Yeah, why not? So that means our submarine things are ready. Let's see. There we go. Have that. Yeah, they might be old guard, but they will do the job well. For now, there's no real... See it as exercises around certain areas. There we go. Got 40 submarines. It's not really what I had in mind. So basically Vessel Ems is our submarine pen, which has... Let's see, I'm gonna just rename all of this. Okay, and the Seebootflotte. You're called the Bundesrepublik Deutschland. That makes very little sense. That means you have just share the same name. I think what is happening is that it is unable to actually give us a full name, just the length. So let's fix that at least. So we have 50 submarines. That's, I think, enough for now. I really should start focusing on another fleet. So let's see, you are all stationed now in Vessel Ems. And you still need a commander. Where are you? That's number 4. You're in... Oh, you're in port. Okay, let's operate in the Norwegian Sea. I don't think I actually need operating in the Baltics. I'll take the western approaches. However, that fleet is not complete, so let's switch you to submarine. That was number 4. Oh god, my memory is shit. Ah, it was number 4. Good. And then number 5 only has 2. What? All right, that just went completely wrong. Right, I get what went wrong, but that actually makes... There we go. Got that set up all nicely. A little bit more steel, a little bit more chromium. And after that, we can just start building another entirely new fleet. So, let's see. They will go from Schleswig-Holstein. Just get a new fleet up running. I think when that is done, we have more than enough fleet, and we'll just keep focus on repairing and such. Perhaps some upgrading once in a while, but I think that's where we're gonna end the fleet expansion program. I think that's more than enough, and I get 3 carriers in the mix. There we go. What's the setup here? Carrier fighters. Yeah, but does this count? Like CV dive bombers, CV torpedo bombers. Actually, let's take a look at that. So it is using jet fighters. Okay. Good. Wait, if it's using jets... Let me just check something. We have... You guys can... Naval attack 5. It always stays low naval attack. Your naval attack is 20. There is no point where these guys ever outperform, except for these guys, but I don't think they can be stationed on carriers. I wish there was like an icon. Oh wait, there is an icon here. So yeah, they cannot be carrier stationed. Alright, so we'll always have these fucker wolves 300s. Okay, but again, I guess that's all set up. And my stomach is a little bit rumbly, so if you hear that, I am terribly sorry. But with that, I'm actually going to end the video. I want to thank you guys for watching and see you guys in the next one. Have a very good day. Bye-bye.